bandits. It is for no agenda or reason that I am calling them bandits or terrorists. For me, what matters the most is the government's reaction to the problem, and we haven't seen much change between when the government declared them bandit terrorists and before the government declared them as terrorists, because everyone was expecting a better the government matter to us. What matters most importantly is how the government responds to their activities. Sometimes I call them terrorists. It is for no reason. I'm in fact just used to calling them, and it feels like people identify them as bandits. Sometimes when you say terrorists, people think it refers to the Northeast. That is why I most times stick to calling them bandits. It's for no personal reason or sympathy or anything. Like I told you initially, the most important thing for everybody in the Northwest is what the government does or what the government is doing after declaring them as terrorists, which has not changed. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Yusuf. I have another question for you. You see, words are very powerful, and I think you being a journalist, you understand that very well. Now, there was when this happened on Monday, then on Tuesday, the BBC. I'm just talking about the international media. They didn't even call these guys terrorists. They didn't even call them bandits. What they call them, they are gangs. So it's being watered down. When people say gangs, nobody will take it seriously because okay, the trend was just passing by and some.
Yeah, I think I think there's difficulty for the media, especially in defining these actors. Yesterday we spoke on a space, and I listened to Ahmed speaking about profiling these people. If you look at the Northeast, the groups are distinct in their activities, their uniforms, their names. You have the Ansari, you have ISWAP, you have JAS, you have this and that. But in the Northwest, although in different platforms people choose names, I know Human Angle chose to call them terrorists even before the government declared them as terrorists. Other medias call them gunmen. Some people call them bandits. In Hausa media, some people call them Mbindiga. Some people call them different names. And I feel like it was more of in a general sense, because it is hard to define who is who. When the Kaduna train attack happened, I saw a report that said it was Ansaru. Everybody knows Ansaru is a different, distinct group from the Fulanis, who are being referred to as terrorists or most commonly bandits in the Northwest. So it's sometimes, I feel like it's sometimes difficult for the media to differentiate or to distinct who is who in cases of attacks, and that is why you have this namings as gangs, gunmen, and different. Because in most cases, they are faceless. Very few people know who is responsible for an attack. Unlike what happens in the Northeast, where groups even claim attacks, or the locals understand who is in control or who is present in an area. So uh, like the government and all and the citizens, the media is also finding it very very difficult to define these actors. For instance, when we go to southern Kaduna, sometimes the media calls them herdsmen, sometimes bandits, sometimes gunmen. But I don't feel like in real senses the people understand truly who are the people attacking them. Although they are Fulani, we are not sure, are these people the ones who have been declared terrorists? Are these people Ansaru? Is it up in the? So I think it's still difficult for the media just like the government, to profile and define these people.
Okay, thank you very much, Yusuf. I will come back to you. Let me quickly go to Samplify. Good evening, sir. Pleased to have you on the platform.
Good evening, Mindset. Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so listening to what Olajimoke have to say and what Yusuf have to say. Now, what is your take? Do you think the media have been compromised, and how do we salvage this country?
It's quite interesting hearing to all the previous speakers, starting with Olajuke, Ahmed, Yusuf. But a few things I just want to add to what they're saying. Now, when you use whether it's Semtex or C4 to blow up a truck, you use RPGs to bring down helicopters, that doesn't come into the category of herdsmen or bandits. That is not banditry. Those are sophisticated weapons. Now, yes, like you said, the water downing of the language makes it now puts out a perception. Rogues, a band of thieves, marauding headsmen, bandits. And it's part of this narrative about is a media compromise. When media houses are outlets, like you said, when BBC Africa is saying a band of thieves or whatever they call, stopped a train on the tracks, raided it, and went away with people, kidnapped people. Yes, they haven't come up with their demands or things, but the bottom line is, I'm sorry, the perception and the narrative that is coming out makes it look like the problem is not as big as it is. It's just like what's going on in, not to make the same analogy. Look at what's going on in Ukraine. Some people are saying it's not an invasion, it's a war. You can see the language difference. Some the Russians will say, oh, it's just an incursion, an invasion, but the rest of the world is saying no, it's a war. And that's the difference in the language. When we keep on saying, oh, so I heard earlier on someone say, oh well, they're bandits, they're this. No, we shouldn't. I'm sorry, bandits do not bring down helicopters. Neither do they stop trains on the track and kill, maim, and kidnap people. And this is part of the narrative. There was a report which I'm glad Olajimoke mentioned. How could TVC be saying that 970 people were unarmed? Imagine. This is the same. I was telling some of my friends that, could you imagine if Twitter was still banned? The government will possibly deny some of these things that happened. And I'm glad I can see Henry Shields is on, because one of the things that Olajumoke mentioned is that, yes, we were saying, yes, Lai Mohammed in opposition was going from pillar to post, shouting noises and showing up, whether the real or imaginary issues that are failures of the Jonathan regime. Unfortunately, PDP, as the main opposition party, are failing woefully on this count. Because all they should be doing is using the campaign manifestos. Oh, Buhari is going to take care of the security issues. Oshibajo is going to take care of the economy. All these, El Rufai going on about the sniper list, the problems and everything. These are the things that they should be hammering into the mindset of people that, look, this is the people, these are the government or the current government, these are the promises they made to get into power, and they're failing woefully. We have an election in February 2023, and they're not doing what they're doing. So personally, I say, if by any chance, unfortunately, this party wins the election in 2023, PDP would have to have a hard look at themselves that they did their best to miss an own goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Amplifier. I really like the analogy you gave, the example you gave of what's happening in Ukraine. And the reason I wanted us to have this conversation is this. Now, one would think that, the investigation is still on, right? You think that our journalists, our media houses will be somewhere around Kaduna, Abuja Kaduna Expressway. I mean, how it happened, I try to find people to interview them and make it look like we are humans. Like, it just doesn't feel like we don't even know. The problem we have right now is how many people were kidnapped. We have no idea. And the media moved on. It hurts so much because if Nigeria fell, we are going to fail. If Nigeria succeed, we will succeed. Now, a day after this incident happened, this kidnapping happened, please, anyone can Google it, everyone can check. I mean, the front page of the newspaper, gosh, did anyone see the front page? It was like nothing happened. Nobody cares. 8 people died. 8 human beings lost their lives. The ones that are kidnapped, accounted for, we don't know, and nobody cares.
Sorry, mindset. Sorry to just interrupt. Now, compare this to when a bombing happened in Abuja in 2015 and JJ went to Kano for an election thing. The pictures were all over the place of him dancing on the stage, and they said Abuja was bombed, and there he is in Kano celebrating and dancing. Now, you've just played the perfect picture that the press, the media in Nigeria are just doing business as usual. Nothing to see here. We had a football match, not even a minute of silence, no black bands. Business as usual, carry on as nothing happened. That is the state that the media has helped get us into.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm a bit but you miss. I can see you're raising your hand. Please, I'm going to please. I know you're here. I know you're here. Comrade is here. But we have a PDP presidential aspirant in the midst. So I think I'm going to invite Harry. Pleased to have you. I'll come to you. But we have a PDP presidential aspirant in our midst tonight. Mazi Sam Ohabunwa. Pleased to have you, sir. Are you there, sir?
I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm also having network issues. It goes on and on, but I'm on now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Pleased to have you. So, listen to what most people have to say about your party, the PDP, lacking behind, not taking advantage of what's happening in Nigeria. How do you respond to that, sir? You have 10 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Mike said. Good evening, distinguished lady and gentlemen. I hope I'm not wrong by saying lady and gentlemen. Because here in the media, they're only gentlemen, but I hope some lady is here tonight. For me, I think what have been said by the speakers about the difficulty, I would like to use the word, carefully, that PDP has had in being a proper, vibrant opposition party is very visible. I've said it in several cycles that if PDP was in power at this time with what was going on in this country, they will have driven us away. The president will vacate the seat and maybe elope or abandon the seat. There was no way any PDP president will be in power, and security has completely broken down the way it is. I don't know what else will happen before we know that the security in Nigeria has broken down. I don't know what else we're waiting for. I don't even completely blame the media for no longer reporting this, because there's certain things you just get tired of talking. And the human nature is to adapt to situations that are chronic. This has become a chronic situation, so there's no novelty anymore. So they just move on with life. That's how human beings behave. But I think the point that is being made here is that the media, as I said in a recent speech I delivered at Flow FM 50th anniversary last week, that the media is the last hope of the Nigerian today. They are disappointed by the politicians. They are disappointed by the traditional rulers. Some are even disappointed by their religious rulers. In the state, you have the governors holding everybody to ransom. The legislature is under the ambit of the governor. Judiciary, which all virtually, so nobody speaks for the people. And the people don't trust even the security. I mean, when you are disappointed so much, nobody trusts. When they say give, I heard some people saying people should give information. People should be patriotic. Who is patriotic when a country does not seem to care for you? Patriotism comes from response to how a country treats you. I mean, that's the way patriotism comes. It's not mandated. It's not decreed. So I agree first and foremost that PDP has not done a good job of raising the issues, because there are very great issues for PDP to feed on, but they seem to be shy, and I really feel sad about that. But that's the way it is at this time. Um, and I think that does not also speak well of the kind of machinery we have in PDP to, deal with the issues that have presented. I have also told PDP that they have they have the opportunity to win or lose the next election, because it's virtually in their hands. The country does not like PDP, people of Nigeria, but from my own reading, they seem to hate APC. And so they are willing to give PDP a chance. If PDP puts its act together, be able to raise issues, shows that it has learned from those challenges it had in the past. Having been in opposition in this nearly 7-8 years, they've learned a few things to put their house in order. But the media, I want to plead with all of you. I will read you, we hear you, is the only surviving institution that is pro people today. As difficult it is, as challenged as it can be, because the media is run by human beings and they have emotions, even though they're supposed to be neutral, but they have emotions, they have sentiment. Secondly, we live in an endemic corrupt environment. The media cannot therefore be seen to be saintly, no matter how they try. So some of those things that are being reported here, where some news items have been buried, discounted, while in other regimes they have been, it's also symptomatic of the corruption in the system. It's not just ideological differences. Some cases is influence of money and corruption. Even though most of the media today is private media, but many of them depend on government patronage. All over the country, I'm associated with some media, and I can tell you that if government takes away their business from media institutions, then they really have a lot of work to do. So we want to continue to pray for what I call activist media work, not just education, entertainment, and enlightenment or information. The media must be activist, and I see some of the journalists here playing that role. I'm only asking that is the only way we can confront the issue. Waiting for PDP alone to do it may not work. And as somebody just said here, it will be a disaster. I'm sorry to say so. I'm pro PDP, but I'm a freak Nigerian. I mean, if PDP is not doing well, I would say so. But from what we can see, the APC government seems to have lost, to have run out of ideas, and they also seem to have run out of capacity. I mean, how can they attack a train and then the next day they come and attack again? What does that say? When with a little satellite, with a little probe, you can see that line from beginning to end on a 247 basis. You can see the line on a CCTV. Not talk of any intelligence um, um,
Okay.
satellite. So my agreement with you, sir, is that PDP needs to raise its ante. It needs to raise its voice and get more aggressive in drawing attention to these things that are happening. Which, if they were in the receiving end, they would be dead. Secondly, I need to appeal to the media to endure, to do the best to resist the pressure and intimidation of government in power. Either way, if it's PDP in power, they could still intimidate the media. So, but the media should do its best to stay above the fray and know that if the press is cowed today, there'll be no more voice to speak for the people, and they become slaves in their own country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mazi Habonwa, PDP as presidential aspirant. You see, the problem here is this. This is how I look at it. when we had there was this thing. Sorry, there was this protest NSATs. It was only Arise TV that was covering it. The rest of the TV channel TV, TVC, and the rest of them were not. Everybody kept quiet. And little did we know that things would get bad to this stage whereby, a trend, terrorist attacks a trend, and the Nigerian media just kept quiet. I will use the word kept, they're not doing anything as far as I'm concerned. You might disagree with me. Everybody on the platform might disagree with me. And now the opposition party, are not doing anything about it. And when we talk about, when you say that they would take their license and everything, in 2014, Line Muhammad was going everywhere, every single opportunity. I mean, most of the things they say they fabricated it, but they have that opportunity. We can't stay and make, we played with Nigerians at the opposition and everything. But then again, the PDP, for me, everyone have a right to disagree with me. I'm not pulling. They're not doing nothing about it. But on that note, let me, Henry, please bear with me. I know you're here, and I'm going to give you enough time to speak. Let me quickly go to Yomes. Yomes, are you there, sir?
Yes,
So,
much around.
okay,
Good
I'm going to give you.
evening.
I'm going to give you 5 minutes, please. What's your take on it?
Okay, I think I'll just give me additional 1 or 2 minutes to it, making it 7. Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Please, mindset. I need one favor from you before I start. Can you advise all the speakers here to enable their mics? I want us to recite the national pledge together before I make my comment. My comment is very short, but I just want to take your permission to make all the speakers to enable their mics so that we can recite the national pledge together. Then I'll make my comments and leave the stage. Please.
Okay, you know how it works on this platform here. It's not my platform, so if everybody agrees to that, Henry, what do you think? Okay, okay, Jumoke, are you happy with that? Roy, is everybody happy for us to do that? I have to take your permission.
Oh, please take their permission so that we can get it.
Hi, mindset. This is
Yes.
Okay.
This is Roy. Sorry, I will not abide by that. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay, let me just make my comments then. Please, good evening, everyone. My comments are very short, and I want to say that the media will definitely continue to compromise. The reason is very simple. I'm happy that we have a PDP person over there. We have other great speakers and other intelligent Nigerians listening to this, and I want them to please take it as the solution, as part of solutions to Nigerian problems. The national pledge, for me, has been the solution of Nigeria, even though we've decided that we're not going to make this country work. The national pledge says, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, to be loyal, and to be honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity. Now, if you look at the first 3 sentences, you'll discover that the media will always compromise, because where is their loyalty? That's the question you keep asking. Where is their honesty? Including the politicians, including we citizens. We are no longer loyal to the country. We're no longer faithful to the country. We're no longer sincere to ourselves. So when you look at the national pledge, we can tell that all of us, both the leaders and the followers, were all guilty in one way or the other. Now, looking at the media is not just a group, but they are made of people, humans. They are all humans. They are not ghosts. The politicians are not ghosts. The pastors, the imam, they are not ghosts, including the followers. I would like to share with you that one of the critical areas of Nigeria is the erosion, or let me say, we just eroded our core values. And our core value is our national pledge, which binds us together to do the right thing always. The media will never compromise if they understood this. The leader, the Buhari and his team, will never compromise. The PDP will never compromise if all these our values run effectively. How will you have a country where people wake up in the morning and all they have is to send their children outside the country, put our money outside the country, put every investment outside the country, and destroy all the systems that will work, that will enable the next 20, 50-year generation to benefit? How do you expect this country to grow? The country cannot go anywhere. So what I'm saying is that whether the media, the politician, the follower, the whatever it is, we are all in one sheet. And until we correct this, we're not going anywhere. So where is it? Where is the case here? We have a country where the medias, they have the right to make it real. They are the eyes of the people. When we get information from them, we're so sure that this information is right. But you see, somebody just sit in one corner and just give them an envelope. Now, 2 days ago or yesterday, we have a country where there is a leader, where there are leaders, intelligent people. A lot of people lost their lives. And what we saw is that the federal government instructed all the ministries and agencies to shut down their activities and go watch football. Lives were lost, but they asked the people to leave their businesses and watch football. In a sane country, is that the right thing to do at that right time? Like you rightly mentioned, there were no papers. Who even make mistake by saying, okay, there was a problem elsewhere in Nigeria, to show people that there's a problem? Nobody did that. The papers were empty, nothing to show for it. People lost their lives. The asset of the country was destroyed. Then nobody made comments. Why?
Okay.
We've lost our value.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry, I need to walk with time. Apologies, I have to cut you short. But I hope you're still with us, because if there's enough time, I will
I'm always here. I'm always here.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. It's good to hear from you. So I'm going to quickly. Thank you, sir. I'm going to quickly go to Henry. I'm pleased to have you, Henry. Good evening, Henry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, my brother.
Pleased to have you.
Good evening, everyone.
So you've listened to what most people, Marcy and the rest of the people have to say on the platform. It's gonna be a long night for us tonight, because when you're on the space, you always go hard or go home, right? Now, I'm just gonna allow you. I'm going to give you 10 minutes, and we'll see how we get from there. How do we get it? How has the media compromised? Because they have compromised. That's what I know.
Well, the question itself is indicting to all of us, because if you can pass information using any platform, you're already in the media. It's a different thing to be trained as a journalist and be a professional in that aspect. But coming home to the topic of today, insecurity in Nigeria, is the media compromised? I will say, to a large extent, yes. Did they compromise by reason of being bribed? I don't know. But what I know, having interacted with a couple of, maybe you say, MDs or chairmen of media houses in Nigeria, I know that the tool called threat has been used by this government to to subdue media houses. Mindset. When Abacha was at his peak as a dictator, when Abacha was reigning supreme over the land called Nigeria, the media stood up to him. The media challenged the illegality of his administration and the policies he was churning out. The media fought on the side of MKO Abiola. The media held IBB to account. These were dictators. These were unelected leaders who got to Aso Rock or the Jordan Barrack using the guns. The media we had was a media that had conscience, that could look at you and say, Mr. President, we will not accept this. Mr. President, this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. Exposing the ills and the evil in government. That was the media we used to have. That was the media. That was the media that we used. Nadeco succeeded to a large extent because he had media backing. Today, who are the owners of the media houses? They are friends of politicians and they are politicians. Who owns TVC? Who owns The Nation? Who owns channels? Who owns these media houses? These are people who have sentimental attachment to political parties. So what you have is a situation where journalists who want to do their job need to look at the face of the owners of the media houses before they break stories. All of a sudden, we stop hearing about Boko Haram attacks. Why? Because there's a media blanket on the coverage of that evil that is going on, especially in the Northeast. I have seen, in fact, one house had to forward to me a letter from the NBC, querying them, not for anything, but for reporting certain issues that happen and using certain words. Listen, mindset, what I see, okay, sitting away from the scenario, what I am able to see, what I'm able to deduce is the fact that we have allowed Buhari to subdue us psychologically. Because if not, we will give it to him very, very hot. But let me ask you, is it Tinubu's TVC or The Nation that will go and challenge Buhari? It's not possible. Is it John Momo's channels that will go and challenge Buhari? It's not possible. In fact, one of their staff, one of the journalists that work with them, is currently an SSA to the president. So I'm not saying anybody is compromised. Don't misunderstand me. What I'm saying is the system, the society itself, not the system, the society itself has failed itself in upholding certain basic standards that says, I am a journalist, this is a no-go area. See, I have an NGO, right? And you want to hold a press conference to discuss maybe the terrorism in the southeast or in the northeast, or this bombing that happened 2 days ago, or the attacks on Kaduna, Abuja, issues that deal with the problems we face as a people. My brother, if you don't have $500,000, you will not have that press conference. If not, it will not be shown anywhere. It will not be published by any media house. If there are journalists on this page this night, I am challenging any of you to tell me it's a lie that you will go and cover an event and you will not be given an envelope of 20, 30, 50,000 naira. Any journalist here should tell me, so that we will know if we will start mentioning names. That an NGO, not a company, not a business entity, an NGO, a non-governmental, non-profit organization will call you to discuss issues affecting you and I. And you will not cover it, you will not hear it unless you're given brown envelopes. Nigerian media is gone. Absolutely gone. Completely gone. We used to have media that will look at a dictator in Aso Rock and call them out for the evil they were doing. We used to have people who had conscience. We had people who would dare it. But what do we have today? And I do not blame them, because as a journalist, you don't live in a vacuum. You have families, you have friends, you have colleagues. So you live in a society where everybody is practically compromised. Who are you? Where's your safety? Look at the guy that was arrested in Cuba. This government came in, and the first thing they did was to throw fear into the Nigerian space, into the Nigerian democratic space. Throw fear. And they've used that fear to rule. That is why today there is no fuel. As I'm talking to you now, I am running on generator. I run on generator in my office from morning till night. I'm running on generator right now in my house. And I'll run it till tomorrow morning. And it happens like this every other day. Okay? So what you have is a situation where we allowed a Buhari who has contributed nothing to democracy, who has contributed absolutely nothing
Gani Fawayemi did not die for this. MKO did not die for this. They did not die for this kind of human being to be the one occupying Aso Rock, breathing down our neck, telling us we can no longer protest. Buhari protested in Abuja here. In Abuja here, he protested. You understand what I'm saying? So what we have is media is scared because media also views that the society is already scared of the government. That is why when Buhari first came in, what did he do? He kicked AIT out of Aso Rock. This happened, okay? Kicked AIT out of Aso Rock. So we are dealing with a government that rules with fear. Now, I am done talking about the excuses and the whatever, the failures and everything. What is the way forward? And this way forward that I want to profile, if we don't engage it, if we don't use it, if we don't utilize it, these guys will continue in Aso Rock beyond 2023. I keep telling people, PVC alone will not save us in 2023. These guys need to be confronted. A minister of justice went to the court, went to shop for judgment, so that it will favor him personally to contest an election, even as an appointee, a political appointee. They have so personalized these things. Okay, so the media can claim, they can claim that it's because of what they wrote to us, we cannot pay fine. When they wrote, there was one, I don't want to call it nonsense, that came from NBC last year to some media houses that they had to pay for 5 million naira or thereabout. I called up one chairman that I'm very, very close to. I said, okay, you are not paying this money. You're not paying this money. Let us go to court. Media should call out insecurity the way it is. There was bomb blast 2 days ago. All the media houses, Punch, Daily Independent, Nigerian Tribune, all of them will call you out. All of you refuse to report it on your front pages. You are compromised and you are part and parcel of the problem that Nigeria is facing today. That is why Buhari will wake up tomorrow and he doesn't care if fuel goes to 500 naira or dollar goes to 1,000 naira. Why? Because there is nobody challenging him. I don't want to talk about PDP. That is a dead issue for me. Like, PDP is totally dead to me. I want to talk about the media. I want to talk about people who should hold the conscience of the nation on fire every single day. People who should tell Rotimi Amechi, give us the names of everybody that died in that bomb blast, in that train mishap. Give us the names. Stop coming to tell us 3 billion naira to fix it. These are human beings. These are children of people. These are family people. Which media house has gone to interview him? When they interview him, the only thing they make these people feel too comfortable. That is why they can say all the nonsense that they are saying. Lai Mohammed will come and tell us that security improves daily under Buhari. Because what? There is no media to challenge him. None. This evening, about 2-3 hours ago, I was on Facebook and I read from a presidential spokesperson called Mobilization, who is supposed to be a pastor, saying that the president is congratulating the Bank of Industry Management for employing 9 million Nigerians. Mindset, I beg, which 9 million Nigerians? Like, it's a different thing for you to know that this government is irresponsible, this government is a failed government. But for the government to keep spitting on your face as a citizen, it provokes you. It looks like they are trying to provoke the citizens. Which 9 million people did Buhari employ? Which 9 million people? But where is the media? One media house should have been able to go tomorrow. No, on Monday, my group is going to do a letter, an FOI letter to the Bank of Industry, requesting details of that 9 million. And if they don't go, we will take them to court. Nigeria does not belong to Buhari. Did not contribute anything to this democracy. Some of us were shot in 1993. Some of us, our names came out in national dailies, wanted by the government because we stood against the dictatorship. What was Buhari's contribution? Nothing. Today is the one enjoying it. Not only enjoying it, is the one actually trampling on the constitution of Nigeria. We cannot do anything. And listen, if the media is scared, by the time 4, 5, 10 media houses come out and say, we will not take this, We will not take this ban. Oh, you ban Twitter. We are going to be on Twitter. We know how many media houses ran away from Twitter when the government banned it. Who does that? How are you scared of the people that are supposed to be the elected representative of their own interest? How are you scared of these people in Aso Rock? How many more months do they have to go? So we have a system that is totally gone. And whenever I call out PDP and say it's the most useless opposition in Nigeria, people think it's personal. It's nothing personal. I have given up for PDP because if not, today there is no fuel in Nigeria. Today there is no light in Nigeria. Today there is insecurity in Nigeria. In fact, not just insecurity, security has broken down completely in Nigeria. People are still in the office. People are still earning salaries. People are going to NMPC, going to DPR, and earning salary every month when there is no fuel. Somebody brought in contaminated fuel into the country. The media has not been able to unveil the name of the individual that is responsible for this. So what exactly is the media doing? Most times they pick their content from Twitter. Lazy. I'm sorry. Like, I am sorry we need the media in this fight against this government, but we need to call them out to truly.
Henry, are you still there? Can anybody hear him?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think it's a network problem from Henry.
Okay, so we'll wait for him to come back. I mean, you can hear from his voice, and I think that echoes how every other person is feeling tonight and since Monday, that the media, Nigerian media, have let themselves down, and you know, we need to find a solution. What is the way forward? And Harry said something. I'm
If
hoping. I hope he.
citizens decide
Oh,
that
he's
you're going
back.
to troop out and tell Buhari, Oga, give us a solution to this fuel scarcity. We are not slaves. We are not animals. You cannot be in National work any salary every day while we are queuing up for 8-10 hours on fuel queues. There will be an answer. If we block federal secretariat, imagine 10,000 Nigerians. I'm not saying 1 million Nigerians, just 10,000 Nigerians in front of federal secretariat, telling the minister, Oga, until you give us fuel, you will not resume in this office. They will sit up. But the truth of the matter is, nobody is challenging them. More or less, talk more of the media. Nobody. I mean, in fact, the Minister of Education, while ASU went on strike, Minister of Education traveled to the UK to go and visit the president. How irresponsible and totally disconnected can you be from your assignment? Amechi has come out to tell us 3 billion naira to fix this and to fix that. Amechi has not come out to tell us how many people died on the train. How many families are kidnapped? I have a family of 6 people who are 6 or 5 people who are still missing. How come the train could only take over 300 people, and that's the ticket that you're supposed to sell, and then you had 970? Where have these monies been going to? I thought the thing was done in such a way that, okay, for every ticket there is a registration with the government, or there is a way for government to know. I thought they computerized it. I thought they digitalized it. So much evil going on, and nobody is asking anybody questions. What I see going into 2023 is, if they look at this insecurity thing, they cannot use it. They will look for another way. They might pick a lot of opposition figures and drop them in jail. There is nothing you can do if you cannot challenge them in the past 7 years. Is it today you want to challenge them? So for opposition, Mazi or Habunwa that is online, I don't know if you're still here or you have gone, but if you're here, take this message back to Wadata House. You people have failed woefully as an opposition. In this time in 2014, everywhere was shouting change. But what do we have today? APC is even looking so competitive in this. So I will plead mindset. If there are journalists that are listening to me now that are here, please, for the sake of dying Nigerians, report issues as they are. Buhari is not the constitution of Nigeria. Buhari is not the constitution of Nigeria. He cannot dictate to you what to report. What you know is that whatever you are reporting, let it be the truth. That is the only thing you hope Buhari's government.
Okay, yeah, we lost him again, and hopefully he will come back later. I mean, it's very interesting, and at the same time very frustrating to see how where we are now. But he said something that's very interesting, because he said that the media actually copied something from Twitter, which is the truth.
Don't concoct lies.
You know,
Don't
okay, all right. Henry, can you hear me? I think your network is not clear. We can hardly hear you. I know you're speaking, but we can't hear anything you're saying. Can anybody hear him?
No, 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 not again.
Okay.
No, we can't hear him anymore.
Okay. Hopefully he will come back. I think it's a network issue. But as I was saying, he was right when he said that the media actually copied things from the Twitter and Facebook. Now there was an incident that happened in Anambra. So I'm not digressing, please. I just wanted to validate what he said. When I think it was it was Governor Soludo's inauguration, and there was something that happened there, and everyone was following what happened. What we had was the Bianca slapped the lady. That was what everybody had, and we are all tweeting about it. But the Nigerian media came out with a different story, and they all copied each other. I mean, you can go and check it for yourself. And they came up with a different story, that it was the other lady that actually slapped Bianca, and that's what they were, they were going on with. Before, I think it was Demagogue and the rest of the people. I think Afam is here. I'm pleased to have you, Afam. If you want to speak, please let me know. Everyone was like, "This is wrong." But believe you me, they did not delete it. They didn't delete any of those things. So the Nigerian media have failed woefully. They have failed woefully. There is nothing like that thing that makes somebody a journalist. I think the only one we have, I have my sister here, Olajimoke, and then we have um Stephen and the rest of them who are doing up very well in regards to the banditry and the terrorism in the northern part of the country. But in terms of investigative journalists, the only one I think we have is Sayombo and David Hunde. And these two, the government are still fighting them. This is where we are. This is where we are. I don't know how we're going to come up from this. Believe you me, if you ask me what do I think about 2023, I do not see the PDP winning the election. I mean, this is not about the election, but because they have nothing to give. They have everything on the palm of their hands. Nobody's asking them to bring up propaganda. Terrorists attack a trend. The PDP is still going around. I don't even want to go here. But let me quickly go to Roy. Henry, are you back now?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
Okay. Just give me a minute or more than that. Let me quickly go to Roy, then I'll come back to you. Roy, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
Oh, I'm still here. So you've listened to what Henry have to say. What is your contribution? I mean, we have all agreed that the media is compromised.
Um, I think we'll keep going round in circles, but Henry touched on so many truths. Absolutely, and thankfully, I lived through those truths as well. But of course, I walked away. Now, the about the media being compromised, it's a fact. We cannot even deny that. But even within that, and even going back to history, the media has always been compromised. So, Olajumoke said it. Uh, Yusuf said so, and I think Ahmed also touched on it. And then Semperfi also said. So you see, it's a reality, but it's not just unique to us. What I mean by that is with owners, with staff, and with the way media houses are set up, they would lean one way or the other. But what makes us a unique situation is illiteracy or stubbornness or ethnicity and religion. The kind of um, cartoons that say a Daily Trust will come out with, you would already know which side they lean towards. The kind of cartoon that People's Gazette would come out with, you already know. If you want to go on print, if you want to go to TV media, it's there. The difference is what will the people do? What will they digest? I see it even when we digest international news. It doesn't take too much. I always tell people just do the same kind of research that you would typically do if you were in uh like a setting. Take the story, but dig, qualify it with more than one. Look for corroboration. Is anybody else saying it? Okay, is there a history to this? But you see, we always let our emotions run with us. There are people that I don't like, but I would always tell the truth about them. There are people that I like, and I should be able to tell them the truth. I've told some people that I engage with, see, it doesn't matter. Eh, it's don't. There's no one that is a god. No one that is a god. If you cannot tell someone the truth to save them, they will. I mean, then what are we doing? Media is not. We don't expect them to be perfect. They cannot be perfect. But what else are we doing? How are we digesting it? If we show what we value, if we let people know what we value, it will be known. Henry made a very good point about marching to the front of some of these agencies, even if it's not the media agency, even if it's the government agencies. But you see, that has been curtailed. We can't do the protest we did under a military regime. We can't do it in a civilian government, supposed civilian government. Yeah. And even the Nigerian media that are international or that are abroad cannot tell the truth. We are not helping ourselves at all. So about the media being compromised, it will always be like that. They let us do the part. We have some journalists today that are standing apart, that are standing tall, that are making a mark in where they are. Anchor is one of them. This guy in Home Angle, I can't remember his name now, is one of them. So that's how we have them. So it has always been there in history. Delegiwa stood apart, even within Newswatch. But after he was killed, Newswatch did never stayed the same. Others took that. They took the mantle to continue where Delegiwa stopped. Unfortunately. But what are we doing today? Yeah, the media is compromised, but people are standing tall. What are the people consuming? What are they doing about the news they're getting? And as Henry rightly said, each one of us is part of that body. We can report. Many people divide the government's bad on Twitter. I remember I started unfollowing and even blocking some banks, then some media houses. I don't follow them anymore. We can let them know what we want, what we value. I mean, it doesn't matter where we are. Like Peter Trust said, it doesn't matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you're African. And it's the same thing about Nigeria. It doesn't matter where you reside. You are a stakeholder in that country. We must salvage this country. We will not get it. We will not get it back. Hindsight is 2020. By the time we get to where we're going, we can already see the journey. Are we heading to where we're going? We're already seeing that we're derailing. We must do something to salvage it now before it's too late. I yield the mic.
Okay, thank you very much, Roy. I'm just gonna more. I know you're here. You're here with me, so please hold on for a minute. Let me quickly go back to Jumoke Olajumoke. She appears to be the only journalist on the space now. Jumoke, are you there? Hello, there. Okay, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, Jumoke, it appears that you need to unmute yourself. I don't think so. I don't think she's here. So since she's not here, let me quickly go to Mo. Mo, good evening. How are you?
Evening mindset. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. So you've listened to what Henry have to say and what Roy and the rest of the speakers have to say. You sorry, do you mind muting your mic, please? Thank you. Now, you and I know that how this thing, that the media is corrupt, right? They are corrupt. They compromise. They have compromised already. What we're trying to find out in the next 30 minutes is the way forward. We've all agreed that they have compromised, right? And one of the problems we have, I really like what Roy said when he talked about daily mail. It's not daily news. So, Roy, please correct me if I'm wrong. Buloma, when he does his cartoons, we all know which side he's going. One of the other problem we have is there is
Daily
insecurity.
Trust.
Daily Trust. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. There's insecurity in the southeast. There's insecurity in the southeast, and the media have given these guys the name of unknown gunmen. And I mean, it's high time we call them who they are. All right, because if anyone goes around and destroy things, they are terrorists. I know most people will not like what I'm saying, but this is how I feel about these things. I don't want us to sugarcoat these things. The only way we can save Nigeria, if Nigeria is to be saved, is to say the truth. The media can pick what they want to do when they want to do it. It does not help anybody. That will not help anybody. I have so many questions for the speakers and all. So let me quickly go to Comrade Mo. Mo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Manson.
Yeah, thank you. You that was very close to the government. We saw you at Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's declaration. So you're very close to the government. What is the way forward? How do we save the media, Nigerian media? Please, you have the mic.
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, I can say it's very easy to sit down behind our keypads and call out the media. But first of all, I want us to be in the shoes of the media. When the Twitter was banned in Nigeria, imagine the government banning an app. Twitter app in Nigeria is not just an ordinary app. It's like the opposition we have. The whole Twitter was banned. What did the citizens do? We moved on and got a way in such a way that we can go on Twitter even with the ban. And normal lives became normal. We started using Twitter behind the ban and all. So it's easy to sit down and say the media houses are supposed to do this, are supposed to do that. Let me give you an instance. Benga Arurube was hosting a show on AIT Focus. I used to follow this show keenly. He was forced out of that show. Why? Maybe many of us know the reason here, but I will not say it. Again, AIT, somebody, I think Amazi was hosting Kakaki Social. He had to seek asylum in USA. When those charges came, I think his charges was treason in particular. When the charges came, is it AIT that will save him? He had to run for his dear life. He's in the USA now. And that's how the show stopped. So I feel there are many good individual freelance journalists that want to do the work. But on what platform? You see what TVC News did? Immediately after the bomb blast, TVC News reported 970 passengers have been rescued without even going, without confirming, without doing due diligence to the information. They've already reported that they have been rescued. And up to today, if you go to their page, it's there. So the most important thing, I don't want to go long into distance. In 2014, when these things were happening, when Chibok girls were kidnapped, you have BBOG. They were in Unity Fountain always. You had people going outside to the extent of going to meet Obama. Michelle Obama was carrying placard of BBOG. Obama was carrying placard of BBOG. Nobody will come to you in Africa to say, we want to see how good you are doing. You have to go and meet them. How do you meet these people? Network. There are many people who their job is to give you a connection between the media houses abroad or to the politicians abroad. But can you sponsor these people? The opposition are not doing anything about it. So I feel the biggest, when the crisis or the bomb blast happened at the Abuja Kaduna, in fact, all of us on Twitter already got the news. It was all over. Chinelo that tweeted it was there. We saw how she was mocked till the extent that she died. The biggest media in Nigeria right now is social media, because we cannot rely on these media houses. Once one sanction comes from somewhere and they are to pay a fine of 20 or 40 or 50 million, they must compromise. Most of them have ideologies. Most of them are passive members of political parties. So it's normal. Even abroad, when you go, the media houses, some of them play to the gallery of the opposition, some of them play to the gallery of the ruling government. So I feel the biggest right now as the citizens, the biggest media we have is something like Twitter, because that's where you can filter the truth if you're sensible. Like we all know, the 970 passengers were on board. We all know that they were not rescued because we're getting information from people that were tweeting from the scene. So to me, I feel this. If we rely on these media houses, I don't think we have a solution. The solution is in our hands. And to say we want to come and protest, okay, let's talk. The process is for that day, but I think I've finished what I want to say.
Okay, thank you very much, Mo. Thank you. It's a good thing to know that we all agree that the Nigerian media have compromised now, and you said something that's the only platform we have. Paraphrasing, um, is Twitter. But then again, we have to be very careful as well because a lot of fake news, right? Somebody can come up with stories which are fake news, so we don't want to carry on those news and make things even worse for the government to say, I told you guys that everything they're saying is fake news. So in as much as we have these platforms to share news and other things, let's be very, very careful and let's be very truthful to ourselves that this news we are about to share, they are the truth. Let me quickly go back to Jumoke. Jumoke, are you there? Oh, I don't think she's there with us anymore. Jumoke, okay. Let me go back to Henry. Henry, are you there with us?
Yeah, but my mic. So
I don't. What's going on with everybody's network tonight? I think Jumoke is having the same
network, not
issue.
my network.
Your mic keep cutting off.
Yeah.
I hope it's not your village people chasing you, right? Who have you offended now? Are you
No.
sure Are you sure Lai Mohammed is not there?
He's saying he's saying his mic has a fault, not the network. His mic has a fault.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's
So
mic
what's
seems
the
to.
way forward?
Yeah, what's the way forward.
My
Yeah,
okay. Let me
Henry. Yeah, go ahead,
let me
please.
come back.
Okay, that's fine. So as we're waiting for Henry to go out and come back, let me quickly go back to Samplify. So Samplify, you've raised some issues about how the news are being reported in Nigeria. What is the way forward? How do you think we as Nigerians can help ourselves to rescue this country in terms of sharing news and not really relying so much on the media because we've all agreed that they have failed. What's the way forward?
Well, one of the way forwards is, as most people have said here earlier on, we all have a responsibility to um, do the right thing. We have, a lot of Nigerians have smartphones. We've got data. Now, imagine, I would say, the Arab Spring started with one man in Tunisia immolating himself. I'm not saying people should go in front of Federal Secretariat or Aso Rock, pour petrol on themselves and burn themselves in order to protest. But all it takes through social media. Look at what happened with the Dr. Chinelo, that put out a tweet that, oh, I'm bleeding, I've been shot. Can anybody help or pray for me? And that tweet went viral. Now, I can assure you, just like what a few people have said here, if a few look at the issue with the adulterated fuel and the problems that there's no fuel, queues. Imagine the productive hours people are wasting queuing for fuel. The amount of money people are burning on diesel for generators. Now, if people decide rather than go to petrol stations, people start sending out tweets, like, or put out messages on social media about that. You know what? Tomorrow, 10 o'clock, we are all going to a particular point, and we're going to sit down and say, enough is enough. We're not doing this anymore. The same president is the minister in charge of petroleum resources, and not even the so-called National Assembly are calling him like, dude, what's going on here? Now, the moment people see, because yes, I know people will say, look, that old fella song, my people, no one die, my people, but you see, there is a power in visual imagery. We've seen it in Ukraine when there's, Zelensky, he refused to leave. Klitschko refused to leave. That emboldens the people of Ukraine to say, if our leaders are not going anywhere, despite knowing that Russia are more powerful than them, then we will stand behind them. We had people leaving England to drive all the way, Ukrainians leaving the comfort of England to go all the way back to Ukraine to go and fight for their homeland. Now, I can assure you, if people see, remember when Buhari came to London and people went to go and stand in front of Abuja House, he ran away with his tail between his legs, the so-called general. Now, that action, we can't keep on waiting for somebody to say, "Oh, we need one of these activists to stand up," because as there's that proverb that says, "When rain falls, it beats all of us." It's not going to be selective. If people see action, whether it's Eagle Square, whether it's Alausa, the government house, people need to stand up. We can't keep on saying the resilience of Nigerians. You don't have this, you use an Abacha stove. You don't have this. Nigerians are always, one thing that the successive governments have relied on is that ability of Nigerians to look for an alternative. And the moment we keep on bending and yielding and looking for alternatives, the successive government will keep on taking us for a ride. If tomorrow people say, enough is enough, we rather, when you go and wait hours at queuing for petrol, instead of that, all of you drive to, in front of, look, there was a video that was going around a few weeks ago that a few women barricaded the National Assembly, and I think it was a Tinubu convoy. It couldn't go in. They had to turn back. I'm sure there were less than 200 women doing that. Less than 200. He might have gone in later to see Lawan and his co, but you could see what 200 women did. They just couldn't. And remember, we had, this is, 1929, we had about women standing up for their rights against the colonial master. Yes, unfortunately, few, or, a number of them were killed. But it just shows that when people stand together, we have, let Mrs. Ransom, Fumila Ransom Kuti, she got rid of an alake of the land. It showed that people there's a power in people protesting, but it seems like that fire in us standing up collectively or individually is gradually being grounded to a halt. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samplify. It's very interesting that you mentioned all these things. I think one of the problems that we have, during the NSAS is that NSAS was so organic, right? And everybody came out to fight for what they believed in. But you see, the problem is this: it was compromised. Now, if we want to tell ourselves the truth, we tell ourselves the truth. In as much as we had the so-called hoodlums or thugs infiltrated the whole the protest, but then again, the same, most people compromised. Most people compromise. And looking back now, I'm not trying to discourage anybody and say we should not go out on the street again. It's just we need to come back and say, okay, let's forget about what happened. All right, let's come back together and start healing, because a lot of people felt that people sold out. This is one of the reasons why it appears that nobody wants to protest anymore. If anybody don't want to tell you the truth about MSAS, I think I stand in a better position right now to tell you this. So it's not all about what happened on the 2020. The whole thing was divided as a point. At a point, there was this division. I think about 3 or 4 different groups during the answers before we had the incident on the 2020. But moving forward, we need to find a solution. I'm just going to quickly go back to Henry. Henry, are you back now?
Yes, I'm back. Yes, I am.
Okay. Now, I know being in the civil society group, I think you're aware of this bill that the government are trying to, I don't know if they have passed it, I need to look back again, the MBC bill, which means the government will control what the media, I think it's called the Press Community Amendment Bill. I think it was introduced in June 2021. Are you aware of that bill?
Yes, I'm aware of a bill, but I can't actually remember the title of that bill. I'm aware of several actions. In fact, we had to pay the Senate a visit
as a group, we visited some members of the leadership of the Senate, where we plainly and publicly opposed the passing of the anti-social media bill and whatever it is that they wanted to pass. See, it brings us to the crux of the matter that is being discussed, right? These guys got into power using the media. President Buhari, on his handle, even though he might not be the one that anyway, on his handle, on his verified handle, thanked the social media for the effort they put in bringing him to Aso Rock. Publicly thanked the social media, not just the traditional media, not the print or electronic media. Thanked the social media. Lai Mohammed was issuing press releases, if not from Ilorin, it's from Lagos or from Abuja, on almost on a daily basis. All right. These people used the media. They were allowed because we are supposed to be practicing democracy. So having come in now and having realized how far they were able to go with the use of social media and the traditional media, they are scared. You understand? They are scared that the same thing could be done to them. Now, what have they done? Try to emasculate the social space, the democratic space, and we are allowing them. Okay? Why do I say we are allowing them? They are personalizing governance to suit whatever Buhari wanted. Okay? That is why the president of a country can come out and call a whole tribe dot in the nation or dot in the circle or whatever it is that is called them. That is why the president of a nation could go on an international airspace, and say those that voted for me will be treated as 87%, those that did not vote for me will be treated as 5%. Those are things that we have never witnessed. Buhari is not the first president to be in Aso Rock. He's not the first person to be Nigeria's president. So why is he working all around the clock and those around him to make sure that nobody criticizes him, nobody does anything? Kefas was found in Port Harcourt by El-Rufai and taken to Kaduna and jailed. A lot of people have been incarcerated. Why? Because when these things happen, the public does not rise up. If Buhari wakes up tomorrow and realizes that for every bad policy that he formulates or he tries to put in place or tries to drive, there's going to be massive revolt and massive rejection of such fearlessly. What they have used is fear. The fact that they know Nigerians will not want to. Why should we be suffering fuel scarcity for 3 months and people are earning salary every day? As workers in the oil sector, government workers in the oil sector, what are they being paid for? Why should we be having electricity problem and people that work in PSCN are still earning salaries? Why is nobody's head rolling? Okay, a train was bombed, right? And up to this moment, nobody has resigned. I mean, these guys don't have any opposition. There is no media to challenge them. There is nobody to put them in check. So it really, when they go to bed at night, they probably pop champagne and click glasses and be like, okay, what we can do today. Tomorrow we continue to look for ways to hurt Nigerians. Why? Because nobody is responding to them. I heard somebody say, protest under this government and everything. Okay, the power in Aso Rock belongs to the streets. If the people say we will not take this, how many policemen, how many soldiers are they going to bring on the street? How many? What we have taken from this government is going to set a bad precedent for the incoming president. The president that is coming again can decide that, okay, listen, it took Buhari 6 months to appoint ministers. It's going to take me 1 year or 2 years. Why? Because there was no revolt, there was no challenge for Buhari to be a sole administrator for 6 months, sending the economy into recession. There was no challenge, no opposition, no media, no civil society, nothing. Okay, so if government feels at ease being able to wound the citizens, cause pains for the citizens, then okay, Kaduna Abuja Expressway was attacked yesterday, according to reports, right? 24 hours later, about 2-3 hours ago, Shehu Sani tweeted that he got another distress call today. Please let me ask you,
Abuja to Kaduna on a normal is about 2 hours. Where are those policemen that used to challenge people when they want to protest? All those people that came out at Lekki toll gate, why can't they be deployed to Abuja? How many hours? What is even the length? What is the length of Abuja to Kaduna road that we cannot protect our own citizens? That we are allowing, they are not bandits, they are terrorists. That we are allowing these ruffians to take charge. What is the length? We cannot deploy drones to monitor movement of this because they need to come to the express road to either kidnap people or to shoot or do whatever they want to do, right? Now, a drone, right? A security drone will be able to pinpoint movement, irregular movement from the forest into the, you can deploy drones, you can deploy helicopters. You need to show these bandits and these criminals and these terrorists that you're truly in charge of the country. How can a particular stretch of road be invaded twice in 24 hours? Gentlemen, there is no government in Nigeria. That is my conclusion. There is no government in Nigeria, because if there was government in Nigeria, if you raid a road today, you as an individual, just imagine, armed robbers come to your house today, they broke down your door, right? What is the next thing you would do? Would you allow yourself to be that exposed that tomorrow they can come back and break the door? No, you need to fortify your door or your the access into your house. What has this government done since Buhari became president? Nobody travels Abuja Kaduna road peacefully anymore, or in a way that, okay, they are no longer scared. No, nobody does it. That is why you had the former deputy governor of Zamfara on that train. That is why you had the MD of one of the government agencies on that train. Why? Because even as big men, they can no longer afford to secure themselves on that road. How is it that we have given out a portion of our highway to terrorists? And you are telling me somebody earns salary as chief of army staff, chief of defense staff, chief of naval staff, chief of air staff? How? Who is in charge of the country? Nobody. Now, in a situation where nobody challenges the government, or nobody is able to challenge the government, this government will keep putting our lives at risk. Yesterday, Abuja was invaded, right? They kidnapped an emir, or whatever they call them, here in Abuja, in Kubwa. Okay? Now, look at Kubwa. It's on the same expressway with the barracks. And for like 1 hour, these guys raided. They were going house to raid, and nobody challenged them. And as at this morning, it is not a topical issue on either the TV, on our TVs, on our radios, in the papers. Nothing. The media is completely gone. Completely gone. When I started, I said, I don't know if the compromise is monetary or, like I said, money induced or not. I don't know. I can't say. But what I know is fear is a serious factor that this government has been able to use. Now, I am not the type that will say, okay, because Buhari wants to bring APC, or what do you call it, soldiers, that I will not go and protest. Any protest I'm convinced about, I will go and protest. If you want to shoot, I beg, Kukuma shoot. We need to take back the authority that belongs to the citizens. Buhari just has how many months to live, but the damage he has done to our psyche as a people will linger forever unless we need to show this government that being president does not give you the right to kill us or to destroy us or to destroy the foundation of our democracy, so that the next president who is coming, we understand that he or she holds the people a responsibility. Buhari does not hold us any responsibility. People were on the queue buying fuel in Abuja here. Buhari flew from here to, I don't know, whatever country he flew on to the last time. Nobody has addressed Nigerians. Nobody has come out and said, okay, this is the reason why we are having fuel, whatever. This is the reason, and this is the solution. Since December, people have been queuing up to buy fuel. Since December. Now, for weeks now, ASU has gone on strike. The minister of education had a meeting with NANS and walked out on them. Do you know why? Because they have the backing of a president that is disconnected from the people. that is totally disconnected from the people. They summoned the IG or whatever, they summoned during the Bukola Saraki presidency in the Senate. They will summon a minister will write them that he or she will not come. The CG of Customs will tell you that I will not wear the uniform. Why? Because the head, who is the president, does not give a damn about the constitution, does not give a damn about accountability to the people. And we are allowing it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me announce it today like I announce every time. If we want to stop Buhari's misbehavior and undemocratic traits, we can stop it. We don't need to break the law. We don't need to do anything illegal. We can stop it. We can stop Buhari from destroying this democracy. People say, oh, 2023 is almost here. We will vote them out. You will not vote anybody out. They will not go. These guys I'm seeing, they will not go anywhere. People that are already screaming on who will be the next president, people that are already screaming on people that are already sending members of their parties to go and be INEC commissioners. So if you are sitting there and saying, we have enjoyed him for 7.5 years, let's just wait and wait. Oga is going to be 16 years. If we don't rise up now and say that, just look at the country. What is working in this country today? Nothing. Inflation, in fact, not just inflation, it is hyperinflation. People can barely eat. I went to the market yesterday to get fish. Just titled fish is 1,200 naira. I bought 12,000 naira. I beg, if my salary was 50,000 or 30,000 or 100,000 naira, and I have to buy 10, and I have to feed, and I have to pay children's school fees and the rest, how do I survive? That is for me. Imagine the millions of families that no longer even know what protein means. Morning is gari, afternoon is gari, night is yam. Why? Is Buhari the first person to be in Aso Rock? Is APC the first political party to be elected in this country? Why are we scared? Why are we making it look like these guys have, what is the worst that they can do that they've not done? People are dying on a daily basis. Look at the medical doctor that died in that bomb blast that happened on the train. Someone that already planned to leave the country. She is gone. She will never come back. No matter the revolt, no matter the anger towards Buhari, that lady will never come back. A life has been cut short. Why? Because we have refused to hold these people to account. It is our job to hold them to account. It is the job of the media to call them out for who and what they are. This is not a democratic government. They use fear. They use gun. I've been shot at the Unity Fountain. I have been shot at for coming out to protest. It does not stop me from coming out tomorrow, because this is not the nation you want to hand over to your children. You don't want to wake up tomorrow and then you're gone, and then your children are somewhere and like, okay, you can't even make normal calls. I have never heard in my life, ever in my life, that government will invest billions to track and monitor citizens' calls. What are they scared of? If you're delivering on your promises to the people, if you're delivering dividends of democracy, why should you be scared of people making calls? Now, for me to call anybody on important issues, it has to be through WhatsApp. Why? Is it the first time we're having a government in Aso Rock? But this is the first time we're having an unserious opposition and a compromised media. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much, Henry. If I've allowed you, I think that I think I did warn our listeners that it's going to be a no about conversation when Henry is around. But it's good to hear from you. This it give people the sense how Nigerians are feeling. Those that do not live in Nigeria, to understand exactly what is happening in Nigeria. You know, it's not been easy. It's not been easy. Tweeting about Buhari and all these guys, it's not easy. If you think anybody's not threatening anybody, then you're making a mistake, right? I tweet differently. I don't tweet. My tweets are always political, or sometimes I go into social things. But I know where I stand, and it's not been easy for me myself, right? It's not been easy, but then again, it is what it is. We can't just hide from this government. All right. I don't really have enough followers like some of you guys on this platform, but thanks to all of you who always try and amplify that tweet. That is the only way I find that I can, I will use to send that message. I mean, I call Buhari failure. He's failed. If the media choose not to call Buhari failure, mine said I called Buhari failure. I put his picture there and I put it on top there. You know, like Henry likes to identify, some calls you don't make them. I intend to use Zoom. Most of my meetings I use Zoom because I find that is more secure for me. But what is it that we have accepted that these guys, they have subdued us? That's the truth. Buhari have succeeded in subduing Nigerians. We can't speak freely, and they came out with this whole, excuse my language, this nonsense that if you tweet about this, Twitter would do this. There's nothing like that. Lai Muhammad lied like he always do. After the unbanned Twitter, they came out with this. If you do this, they have the right. Who gave them the right? Twitter will give you the access to their bank things. That's not going to happen. They put fear in Nigeria, but you know me, I don't care. I know what they're doing, and I use it against them. I'm going to call them out. If anybody wants to help me to retweet it, fine. If you choose not to, that's fine. All you do for me, just help me to report. In terms of calling this government out, and let me say it on this platform, even the PDP and NMPP, that the new party and the rest of them, if you guys mess up, let me borrow the word mess up, I will call you out. I'm not a member of PDP, so you don't think PDP have this whole mindset that the people are working for them. Nobody's working for you. I'm not working for you. You need to work for yourself. PDP need to get up, because this whole thing, people are attacking, attacking the current the government. The PDP have just lied down and relaxed and drinking their tombo and everything, right? Thinking mindset and the rest of us here are fighting for that. I'm not fighting for PDP. No, I'm not doing that. I'm fighting for my future, fighting for the future of my kids. All right. So I will keep speaking out. I will keep doing what I'm doing. And I hope that each and every one of us here will help in calling out the injustice happening in Nigeria. If it's in Southeast, please call them out. If it's in Northwest, if it's in South, please. But the only thing we can do is be honest. Let's not, drive this whole agenda with fake news. Something happened in Anambra State, and they said unknown government. I don't like that word, unknown government. They are known. People know who these guys are. Call them out. They are terrorists. Anyone that leaves what they're doing and went to a secretariat in Anambra State and burned it down, believe you me, these guys are terrorists. And if you're not happy with it, and I mean, I don't have enough followers, but if you're not happy and you want to unfollow me, please go ahead. If you can stand for the truth, then we are not going to make a difference. We are rounding up in the next 2 minutes, but I've seen that there's quite a lot of people requesting to speak. Unfortunately, like I always say, if you're not following the handle, it's very difficult for me to see you. I mean, I can't see anybody. I can see there's about 28 people requesting to speak, but I can't see you on the platform. But before we round up, let me quickly invite. Okay, you have 2 minutes.
All right,
okay.
Mindset. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I really appreciate it. So I would like to say something. Okay, since the time this government come on board, there have been persecution, majorly opposition and so on, But one thing I've observed over these 7 years of the Buhari administration is that the government is scared of criticism. That's why when people like Rashid, comrade, what's his name? The guy that is the convener of Concerned Nigeria, Njenje Adeonju, when these guys criticize governments, the government try to put them in jail and all those kind of things, So for me, I know that the government is scared of criticism, while the media is scared of the government. All right. Yeah. The media, they know that Buhari is a military dictator. All right. They know it's history. Okay. My problem is that the media, they are not doing their job. The TV, the thing is that media, they don't ask the right questions. Okay. In foreign nations, like for instance in America, when a person is saying something in public, or like if for instance Donald Trump is the president of America, okay, they will go back to past things that he has tweeted before and use that against him. That's what they would have done. All right. Now we had a former APC chieftain, Kawu Baraje. He said APC imported Fulani herdsmen for 2015 election. APC has not debunked it up to today. Since the day the man made that statement, up to today, they have not made such. They have not debunked it. You can imagine. They have not. This is something that the media they're supposed to call that man, ask him, interrogate him. How do you know? Call alongside APC shifting so that they will answer the question.
Sorry.
In protection and enhancement. Okay, look at just hold on, please, mindset.
No, it's 10 o'clock already. Okay, so
yeah, you know, just it's too. Can you allow me to conclude, please?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, look, a sitting governor, when he was in the opposition, he said that GEJ sponsoring Boko Haram genocide on northeast Nigeria. Why can't Channels TV invite those people, question them? Okay, what is happening in El-Rufai State today? He cannot say anything. All right. The thing is that the Channels TV, whenever you are giving them opportunity, when they want to invite guests, they invite people that are not vocal. I've noticed it most especially in the opposition, because before, most state governors, Fayoshe, Wike, they are the ones that are the only opposition. But today, how many times have they invited Fayoshe? Because they know that if Fayoshe speak, Buhari, people will like to watch and listen.
Sorry.
To
Sorry. You know, I try to keep the time. Apologies. We have lost we are 1 minute ahead of the time. Thank you, everybody. It's been a very interesting conversation tonight. Thank you, Henry. Thank you. I was hoping for Afam to request for the mic because I wanted him to speak more about the Southeast. Ola Jumoke, are you still with us here? Roy, Comrade, Samplify, and the rest of the speakers who've actually helped us tonight to unbundle this issue about the media in Nigeria. We are the media. That's what we agreed on this platform. And this platform is a Nigerian platform. It belongs to everybody. All right. It's not my platform. So please feel free to come here every Thursday between the hour of 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Hopefully next week we'll come up with a different topic, which, we're not only here to talk about these things. We want to make a difference. We just don't want to come on platforms, on spaces just to talk and go back home. No, we just want to make a difference. And I thank you, everybody. And I know we are still mourning. Let's keep looking out for one another. Let's keep doing whatever we can do to salvage whatever is remaining of Nigeria. And that is where I will leave it for tonight. So hopefully I will see you guys next week. Thank you and God bless you. And to those that we're not able to speak to tonight, please, I apologize. The problem is, as I always say, I can't see most of you. So whenever you join the space, always try and if you follow the handle, it makes life a little bit easier for me to see you. But I really, really apologize. And thank you very much. And